Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, R.D. Robertson here. Hello.
Oh, hi. Great. I'll just give everybody just another minute or so to see who else calls in, and then we'll get started.
Very good.
People got to mute themselves. So you can always mute yourself. Who's calling in? It's like, but... A lot of people probably can't come. They'll have to get the recording. I a lot of times didn't do it because they went to work.
Good afternoon. It's Carol Schwartz here. I'm not sure if I've been muted.
No, Carol, I can hear you just fine. I'm just
Great,
waiting another minute just to see if anybody else is able to get on the call.
Super.
Yeah, I can see how many people are. I just thought I'd give them a minute, but we can get started. Right. Okay, I guess we'll get started. Welcome, everyone. I know some of you I have met before when I worked for the college. And then almost 4 years ago, I moved up to Maine, and I'm pleased to be able to still work with the college teaching, and now in my new role as faculty coach. So it's great to be back. I wanted just to do a brief call today, talk about a few things. Brenda's on as well, and she, has some things I think to share. So the first thing I just want to remind everybody, grades are due tomorrow morning by 9 a.m. It's really great if you can get them in by tonight. And remember, if you can't find a student, to make sure to look and see if they're in a different term. So you may have to go and look in 2 different places in Banner. And if you have any problems with that, get in touch with me. The other thing is I'm starting to look at beginning of term paperwork. And while they look really great, just make sure to remember all the details, like, make sure that your supplemental syllabus virtual office hours match what's in the Start Here page, and just make sure that everything is completely filled out, just to make it easier for our students and to set, a good example of us having everything complete and correct. So the big news is this is the first session that we will be running the new and improved INFT124 course. And I hope you've all had a chance to take a look through it. Some of the big changes that I just want to highlight are removing the textbook. And I believe, Brenda had mentioned to me this morning that it still mentions a textbook, not on your supplemental syllabus, but on the system syllabus. So you may get questions from students, but there is no textbook. The lectures are a bit longer now in the class to make up for that, but I think that will be much easier for students. The other things that I'm sure you've all seen, the Start Here tab, which is just makes it easier and cleaner for students to click right there and get everything they need to get started. You will see less assignments in the new version of the class. So I hope you've all been collaborating on how you're going to break up grading and, discussion as usual. We really want to see a lot of collaboration between the co-instructor and the primary instructor. So I hope that, we really want to beef that up and make sure you're really working together as a team for the students. Brenda, are there any other, are there any changes you wanted to highlight? Okay, well, I'm sure she'll be back. Another thing I did want to mention is we will
I'm
still
sorry.
have, oh, hi, Brenda.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I clicked on one spot and it should have been another, but
Okay.
thank you. I did want to add for the course syllabus where the textbook is mentioned in the media, and Julie Zhu may not be on, but thank you for bringing that to our attention. But what I just did was submitted a revision to the statement to add for online classes, no textbook is required. That syllabus is for the entire college. So we have to tweak it to talk to both the campus who's still utilizing a book as well as online. So that change will be made so when the classes open on the 6th of March, the students would see that in there. The other thing is, I just want to reiterate a couple of things with INFT124, the new and improved. So the purpose is to have more engagement with the students, and that the students get the basic tools. I think a lot of you already know, going through this course or teaching it in the past, there were certain assignments that was very difficult for the students to complete, and some things just weren't flowing very well. So we tried to, and I think a good job done on collaborating and making the discussions more engaging and not asking those standard questions. And I will tell you, as we go along, we'll be, for any of the courses that we're doing new builds on, we're going to be asking the same thing. We're looking to be as book agnostic as possible in the majority of our courses. So what we're going to have is lectures that you're going to create, but out of those lectures, we want to have more engaging discussions. And so that's what we try to do with this class. So hopefully, as I stated when I sent out the email for the course creation, is that not only will you be excited about the course, and hopefully the students will as well. That's all I have on 124.
Okay, thank you, Brenda. A couple of other things that I thought of too that I wanted to mention is that students will no longer have to download Office 2016. They'll solely be working in the 365 version. So that should eliminate some of the difficulties students had every session. There were always some students who had trouble downloading it. So that will make it a little, I think, simpler for students too, not to be going back and forth between versions. Other thing is we will continue to have tutoring this session. I think before we thought there may not be, but we will. So if there's anybody that is interested in the tutoring, just get in touch with Brenda to see if there's any slots open.
Can I just add to that as well?
Sure.
So if you tutored for us in the past and you want to continue with your schedule, let me know, because those are the individuals who will have first choice. This will be the last tutoring that we will be running for INFT124, simply because of all the changes that we've made. We do not think the students will have the difficult times that they had in the past. We're going to shift our tutoring over to our medical coding program. So this will be the last session.
Okay.
Thank you. Great.
Does anyone have any questions? Is everything, is everything working in your classes? Is there anything that you're fuzzy about or unclear on the new version?
I have a question. This is Carol Schwartz. Hi.
Sure.
I have a question about, I know students will now be able to access the class through their mobile devices. And I'm wondering if they'll still be able, like, for example, my supplemental syllabus is prepared in Office 2016. Will they, and I guess I probably should have tested it, but I just thought of the question. Will they be able to access that on their phone through Office 365?
Brenda, I would, go ahead. I would think so.
will say this, they should be able to. But
Right.
if you test it or try it and you find that there's an issue, please let me know right away.
Thank
Right,
you, I will. I'll try it on my tablet. And
Right.
yeah.
I believe they should be able to, because you can open a Word doc in either version.
Right, and it is 2016, so I believe I've never
Right.
had a problem, but I didn't actually test it, and I thought, well, I will test it. If I have a problem, I'll definitely reach out.
Okay, great. Any other questions, concerns?
Because that also, I did see some documents as I was, like when you can retrieve a Word document of the actual lecture.
Right.
So that also should be able to be retrieved like on their mobile devices. I'll
Correct.
try. I'll see. If you don't hear from me, you know that I didn't experience any problems.
Well,
Okay.
we had tested it a while back, Carol. So there were different documents through different steps that we had tested. But naturally, when you try it from your mobile device versus somebody else trying it from theirs, there may be an issue at that point in time. So again, as you said, give it a shot and then let us know if you're having a problem.
Yes, and do we have a recommended browser for mobile devices that we can recommend for students?
It's a good question.
Well, I don't know about a recommended browser. I really don't remember if we said anything specific. I do know we do cover browsers in one of the weeks. And in those browsers, we talk to Firefox, Chrome, and Safari.
Right.
Right.
But I can find out, go back and talk with the design guys and see if there's a recommended browser for the mobile device.
Okay, because the reason I ask is that in our prior discussions, we would always talk about mobile devices and how they were accessing the class. And on my mobile device, I know Firefox is recommended for computers, but on my mobile device, it's a tablet. It's a Sony tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Chrome worked beautifully. Firefox really just lagged right out and stalled out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just a little concerned that students will be using mobile devices, and I don't want to say, well, Firefox works best, when I know for myself it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll validate it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. And Kira, I was going to say, I know a lot of people have iPhones, so I'm they'll be using Safari by default.
Mm-hmm.
But if you tested it, I'm sure it probably works on all of them.
Yes, yeah. And I'll just recommend whatever works best for you, please. And
right, and it's a good kind of a good lesson in browsers too, because there are certain things you do have to check and see which browser works best.
Right. And we'll get to that discussion, throughout. I think it was like 6 or so.
Right.
If I remember correctly. Okay, well, good. I just thought of those questions off the top of my head, and I thought, well, now's a good time to ask.
Sure.
To see if I have.
And they're good ones, so I will find out for sure.
Okay, and thank you for continuing the tutoring, because I thought, oh, geez, at least this session we could get a good grasp on, how the course is actually being implemented, and see if we can identify any problems that might be common in the future.
Right. Well, I'm hoping that you won't find a lot of problems. But again, the purpose of discontinuing the tutoring is because the course was built to be so simplistic that if there's any issues, they're more technical issues, which is what the tutoring does not cover. So, or should not cover. So that's why we're looking to eliminate it. But absolutely, this is the time to discuss any issues. And since you brought that up, Carol, if you guys find an issue, please submit a course correction to Tamira, and then we can discuss it and then get it uploaded into the course. And most likely, it won't be uploaded into all of the courses. We may have to figure out how we can do that because we are running so many of them. But we would update the master to ensure the May session has the correction. But either way, let us know.
Yes, absolutely, yes. Yeah, I've just been going through the course slowly, as if I were a student, and just, taking it, piece by piece, just to see, how easy it is to navigate, and just going through it.
Okay.
And what do you think
Well,
about it?
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I like it. Actually, I like it. And I like the opportunity to have the Word document, especially if students were to join in office hours and they have a question. I don't want to, I can't really point back to the big long lecture, but if they have the document there, I can point to the page on within that document and say, this is right where it's at, during the lecture.
Okay, good.
Just as I would when we had the textbook.
Right.
Point them right to the page.
Does anyone?
So far, I like it.
That's good. Does anyone else have any comments on the new class? Do you like it? Do you see? What do you think of it? Okay. Nice. Okay, that's okay. If you do, I would love to hear what you think of it as you go through the course this session.
Absolutely.
Are there any other questions? All right, that's all I had. So let's, finish our grading, get ready, for the March start. And I think it's going to be a great session.
Carol, sorry.
Okay.
Mira, can I just add one other thing?
Of course.
I just wanted to briefly catch you guys up about our scheduling that occurred for March. So we scheduled, based on our enrollment at that point in time, instructors to teach as primary and co-instructors. My strategy has always been try to schedule the instructors in the sections based on what we had to enroll. So come time we have OSN, I'm not eliminating a lot of co-instructors. Well, we found that did not work well with our last session because of the way that the students were enrolled. So we work with our register office so that we can do a better job of strategizing the number of sections that's being created and the number of sections that need co-instructors. So with that being said, Karen, Dr. Chapman met with the registers, Allison, and the Dean of Student Services over the course of last week to talk about how we can fix this, because we have open seats in some sections, and then in other sections, they're not even filled either. So we needed to best strategize that. Based on that, we've pulled a few classes. So some instructors were pulled, primary and co-instructors were pulled from classes that they were scheduled to teach. Now, I've put those instructors out on what I call a sit-out list. So as the classes start, if we need more instructors, they'll be the first ones to be offered a class. Going forward, the goal is that we won't have to do this anymore when we're pulling instructors. We'll do a better job at strategizing the number of instructors that we need based on the number of sections that we're running, based on the number of students that's enrolled. Now, I always say course offerings are not guaranteed because they are based on student enrollment. But I just felt this early in the game, I shouldn't have had to pull instructors, and unfortunately I did, and I apologize for that. But again, we're working on a better strategy going forward. So keep in mind that as the session opens, if classes are needed, I will be reaching out to those instructors first. But if you are already scheduled to teach and you're interested in teaching another for another class, another section, always give me your name, because you can go on that list as well. but I did want to just let folks know, unfortunately, we had to pull instructors, and that was never our intention, but it happened. So hopefully we'll do better. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Okay, that's all I had. Unless there's anything else, I'm going to let you go, and thank you for joining us during your busy day.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
you.
All right, and welcome back again.
Thank you.
I remember you from years ago.
Yes, I remember.
And enjoy Maine.
I do. It's been a heavy winter, but nothing beats the ocean. So
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, great. Well, nice to speak with you, and thank you so much for having this meeting.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yes,
All right.
Thank you.
thank you, Brenda.